In this video, we will discuss two new products from Acumatica, bank feeds and advanced expense management. First, let's take a look at bank feeds. You can see that I have a dashboard of which I have bank transactions at the top, so I can view any of my to-be-reviewed bank transactions and any that have already been matched and processed. Now down below are the expense receipts that we will get to when we cover the advanced expense management, but this allows me to see which ones are pending, which ones have been unclaimed, what the unclaimed amount is, how many have been claimed, and what that claimed amount is, and how many are missing attachments, which we'll talk about when we look at the mobile app. I also have different categories to where I can look at travel, food and drink in restaurants, food and drink restaurants, fast food, so I can break these down based on how I wish to submit my categories. So let's go ahead and set up a bank feed. So I go to my banking workspace, select bank feeds, and I'm going to select Chase Bank. Now what I've done is I've set up the bank feed name, I've given it the legal name and the email address of the person that is responsible for this. And now I'm going to link that account through Plaid, which is the bank aggregator. So I'm going to go ahead and click continue, and it's going to allow me to select my bank. Now I can select Chase directly from here, but if it's not any one of the major banks that are listed here, then I do have the capability to search. As an example, if I was looking at something in Texas, I could go ahead and search this. There are currently 14,000 bank feeds available with Plaid. Now I'm going to go back and look at Chase and link my accounts. So I'm going to go ahead and select Chase. I have multi-factor authentication, so if this is something that you would get text, or if this is something that you would get an email, then you would be able to do that. I'm going to go ahead and put in my password that I have and go ahead and connect to Plaid. Now what this will allow me to do is it directs me to my accounts. So these are all the different accounts that I have with Chase, and I'm going to select my Plaid checking, my Plaid saving, and I'll go ahead and select my credit card as well. Once I do this, this will directly connect with Chase Bank and give me my bank feeds within the system that are directly connected. So once that comes in, then I'm going to be able to then apply a cash account to this via going in and selecting the bank cash account that I have set up. So this one happens to be checking, and so I can go ahead and select my checking account. This one is the savings account, so I can go into savings, select my savings account, and then I have a corporate credit card that is set up as well with this. So once I go in and I set these up, I come up and I save this, and I'm done. So that's how you create a bank feed. Now once that is completed, now everything will start coming down from my bank. So all transactions will come down, be encrypted. Passwords and the security is all done through Plaid and totally encrypted. So nothing is stored on the Acumatica site. Now once I get my information that comes in, there's a couple other things that we can do with bank feeds. So if I select this demo account, I have the capability to set up corporate credit cards. So I've already set up a couple corporate credit cards here, and you'll notice that I have a couple different things that I'm using. So I have match rules that I can use a account ID in this particular case. So it's going to look at what I want to use. So in this case, it's going to be use the account ID, or I can use the field starts with, it contains, or ends with. In this case, I've chosen the user account ID. And what this allows me to do is if I have things like Visa, MasterCard, where I have a corporate account, but everybody has their individual card number, then I'm going to use the account that it's set up on. If I selected field contains in this particular case, I'm saying I want it to be the account owner. This is an example of, say, an American Express, to where you have one account with multiple cards underneath that, and I'm matching that based on the name that's on the card, in this case Maxwell Baker. So that's how you set up the corporate credit cards. In the expense items, I can also do very similar things. I can come in and set up within my bank, and these can come down from the bank, but I can have what the category is. So I'm going to have the category or the name. Again, I can have the field contains, starts and ends with, and you'll notice that I've set these up to be match this value. Here's my expense ID that I want to have, but then I have a name. So anything that I buy from Staples will be expensed to supplies. Now you'll also notice that I have one that says do not create. So this gets into the second part and the second product, which is the advanced expense management. Now once I've done that and set these all up, I can process bank transactions. And what this allows me to do is I can select one of my cash accounts. In this case, I'm going to select my corporate credit card account so that we can then move into the other part, which is the advanced expense management. So you'll notice this comes down. Here's everything that has come down from Plaid. Now you'll see that this external reference number is listed over here. This is totally unique, and it is the authentication coming down from Plaid. Gives me my bank transaction date, any receipts, any disbursements. And then I'm on the right hand side, I'm able to match these up. In this case, this one I can match up to an expense receipt, and then I can also match them up to invoices, and I can also match things up to payments. So once I go through the auto match process, then these will get matched up. It will also show me things that may need to be reviewed. So you'll remember that we had the cash payments that basically were set as unknown. So I'd have to come in and I would have to then actually create an entry type that will apply. So that's the banking feeds and how you can process bank transactions. It also assists with reconciliation. And then now we're going to go ahead and talk about the expenses. So if you remember on our dashboard, we had two different types. So we had the bank transactions at the top, and then we had the expenses at the bottom. The process is the same. I'm going to have the bank feed, and then I'm going to be able to process my bank transactions. And then when that is completed, I'm going to be able to come into my time and expenses, to my expense receipts. And from here, I can see this is me. I'm currently Michael Andrews, as this is how I'm signed in. It comes in and it shows me these are all of my expense receipts that need to be claimed. Now, I can come in here, and this is basically saying you need to go ahead and record this. I will get a push notification if I'm using a mobile app, and what that allows me to do is then use my mobile app, and you'll see that these are the same. So I've got my United Airlines, I've got my Tectra, my Madison Bicycle Shop, and from here I can go on to my mobile app and actually go ahead, and you'll notice at the top I could take a picture of my receipt. It will attach that in to this particular record that I am on, and that way I've got my receipt on. Now you'll notice that there is one here. You'll notice that there's also I could do a project and contract onto here, as well as a project task, and you'll notice these two don't have a reference number coming down from Plaid. So I can also do expenses that I utilized my personal credit card or paid cash for, and I can add those in along with the documentation. As I mentioned, you can take a picture, and here's my receipt from the camera. So that is the advanced expense management piece. So we've covered the bank feeds as well as the advanced expense management. And for more information on any of this information covered in this video, please contact your Acumatica partner, or you can contact Acumatica and review via www.acumatica.com.